Our land can offer a lot of support for people that want to come and explore what it's like to live out in our land, because it's very peaceful, and it offers a lot for people that want to come and get better. And it provides all kinds of nourishment, peace of mind. We can get fish, pickerel, berries, moose, deer, and medicines would be the rat root for a medicinal drink. And today I have witnessed the changes of our land due to climate change.
Today, the weather is changing. Everything's dying, like plants. We can't even go out now to pick berries now because of the cool weather.
We're sort of in the central and eastern side of the province, an area that is, like all areas in Canada, experiencing the effects of climate change. And this is a multi-year project. This has been going on since about 2019, this project, looking at the impacts of climate change through various aspects. We've looked at interviews. We've been able to work with the community to administer questionnaires and surveys to just gather local opinions about the effects of climate change.
Welcome to our tutorial land of Shoal Lake Swampy Cree Nation Treaty 5. And I'm proud to say that I'm an Indigenous woman, keeper of the land and the waters.
We were really fortunate just yesterday to take part in a boat tour. We had 4 boats on the lake. We launched actually right at this location. We crossed the lake in rather windy and rainy conditions and entered the Carrot River. And we witnessed many things. We saw areas that had been flooded, areas that were previously farmlands, wheat production that was now underwater. We saw actually farm equipment that was underwater. So that shows that the operation of the E.B. Campbell Dam and other dams upstream have impacted land use and economic opportunities that once existed in this particular area.
Most of this territory here, we use this as a base for fishing, and we also do a lot of hunting along this river here for moose. And most of us that are trappers used to trap around this area too. And everywhere you look around now, everything kind of changed now. It's unrecognizable. There's some places don't exist anymore because of the change. So you see around us, there's hardly any trees because of the water, high level.
Climate change is also happening on top of land management decisions. So it's really a combination of things. We can't just say it's climate change or just water management. There's also forestry on some of the upland, and the forestry is causing large patches of open land, which is causing animals to move in different ways. So we're talking to elders, we're talking to land users, we're talking to health professionals, and getting a perspective on how things are changing. And understanding what we've come to understand is that it's multiple impacts. And climate change is probably accentuating or exacerbating, making things worse, and compounding some of these problems.
I used to go hunting moose, pick berries, and I used to trap muskrat out here by the lake. There were lots of muskrats back then.
Yeah, there was a lot of trapping going on in the late 80s because the land was it was very good, as I had said before, because there was lots of bushes, and muskrat had a lot of habitat, like places to live. But when they flooded the land, they took all that away. Yeah.
Me and my grandpa used to travel here a lot by canoe. We used to paddle. We didn't use a motorboat. We paddled using our arms. That was a lot of work, but a lot of physical. We were in good shape. We didn't get sick.
And there used to be lots of moose to by that bush. Spruce moose used to like living in a spruce bush. And that hill you see up there used to be all meadow. All meadow there. And there used to be lots of buffalo coming down from way up there to here.
In Shoal Lake, we had lots of climate change here happening here in Shoal Lake, like lots of floods, and our weather, it's been like crazy, you know, like it's hot sometimes and it's cold sometimes, and our animals are just emigrating somewhere down south, and we have to go look for some food for our community members. And
no more making hay. Can't make hay now more. It's all covered with water now.
And but along the river and along the creeks that we have traveled, we noticed the trees are kind of dying. It's not a full forest as I remember it. It has really affected us. Maybe the dam from the dam nearby Nipawin that was built, that once flooded our land, took away our trees.
The water level kind of killed all the beautiful oak trees that we had here. It was a nice place to be.
It's getting harder to buy things, too expensive. Gasoline, whatever, going up. Back then, there was no pavement here. It's gravel. When they fixed it, the road here. But still, it's not safe. There's too many potholes.
I've been here all my life. I grew up here. I didn't even grow up I didn't even born in a hospital. I was born in a tent. I used to hunt and I used to fish. Things are changing a lot. We used to have a lot of moose in those days, back in the younger days. I used to go and hunt in here on El Tibers Lake, right beside the Manitoba border.
I guess the biggest concern I have is the moose population.
And today we don't have any moose now. There's nothing, just a little bit moose. High prices on cruises, high price on gas. Yeah, it's changing that. We don't have any muskrats nowadays because of the lake drying up, and
All kinds of crazy stuff, yeah. In the middle of in the middle of summer, what would snow? Why would it snow in the summertime? That's one thing I can't. Crazy. It is crazy.
The only thing I'm scared of is they're using too much trucks in our reserve. They're taking and they're getting violent.
I started hunting when I was 15, 16. Basically ducks, goose, moose. Recently there's climate change. It switches the hunting months. Like goose used to come here around March, but this year they came real late. Even ducks. I was really eager to go moose hunting for this winter with a snowmobile, but we hardly had snow.
In the springtime, when we went out trapping, that's what we usually eat, was beavers and muskrat and ducks as the migratory birds. And I also noticed something too, like the snow geese. They don't fly here anymore. They a few years back, about 5 to 6 years ago, there used to be thousands and thousands of them flying over. Now you don't see them. And the geese, this year, they came in very late. Usually they show up in the first week of March, but now they're coming in late and late and late. Even the ducks coming in are coming in late. It's something that we noticed, the changes. If you're out on the land, you see these changes.
Animals are going to be, they're triggered by climate in a lot of respects. They kind of follow the patterns of the seasons, they respond to temperature, precipitation patterns, and as those things change, animals are going to start to change as well. And this can actually cause quite a few problems because a lot of migration patterns, particularly for birds, are based on food availability. And that food source is going to be changing as well. And so often we end up with these mismatches. Often birds will migrate to a location because at that particular time of year, the food source is plentiful. There's a possibility that they will migrate now to that place and that food is not plentiful because the climate has changed and it's changed the conditions, the growing conditions for that food.
Yes, I noticed that a lot of change, a lot of forest fires, but also a lot of logging, a lot of trees were taken already. Like some of in the Pasco Hills there's hardly any spruce trees now, where there were lots, abundance of moose because they had it cover, but now, because of the fires, they're gone.
We had a lot of smoke in our area, and then that's where our animals disappeared on us because lots of forest fires in our area.
I was coughing too much and my lungs were hurting. Most of the people are sick with asthma.
We have to send people out in when they were having like the sickness of asthma and chronic people, and we used to send them out to the hotels and where there's less smoke in there. We even had less snow this year. That was one of our major climate change there. We didn't have much snow this year.
Last winter, there was hardly any snow, and I do believe a lot of bears suffered because of that. The bears were starting to come up, but then frost hit in the middle of summer, and it kind of killed all the bears that were coming up, and I know that the bears were having, what are they going to eat?
One of the things that we know we've seen with climate change and is certainly predicted to happen in the future is an increase in air temperatures. And that's pretty unambiguous, that's what we're seeing, and that's predicted to go on in the future. The thing is that snow is such an important part of the water cycle in the prairies. It's about 1/3 of our precipitation, but it's most of the water that runs off the surface is snowmelt. And so changes in how the snow behaves really will matter a lot. And it matters a lot for water that's available for crops. It also matters a lot for water for the environment. It matters a lot for flooding. So if we have temperatures rising, there may be times in the winter where we don't have snow on the ground. And I think we saw that in quite a few places this last winter, where there were times where there was no snow. That's very unusual. If you look back in the historical record and talk to people, that didn't really exist. That's something that's really been quite new.
The thing that I noticed about climate change and how it affects our land is that recently noticed that our environment has been getting dry because of the fires we had and dry season, and the weather has been crazy.
It was only about 5 years ago when we set up the climate station, a climate monitoring station and the climate monitoring station is an important piece of, I guess, Western science or monitoring station that monitors air temperature, barometer, wind speed, wind direction. And this is important data for the community to build a history of weather patterns, weather changes over time. Of course, weather is what happens day to day, but when we do this, have this data collected over years, it becomes a climate record. With some of this instrument science, we're able to maybe in time build a better knowledge of what is actually happening on the ground. So we're hopeful that the weather station will provide a glimpse into what is happening in the past as a proxy to what is likely to be happening more into the future.
I feel a sense of pride because our land is still for us to use and enjoy and to come out here and be at peace and get away from whatever's out there. And it's nice to know that our young people are remembering the land through storytelling from the elders, that they are able to pass on the information to the next generations to come. I just feel the sense of peace and harmony.
I think going into the future, developing an adaptation plan in this community would be very wise, and that could be a next strategy, is to sit down with community leaders and to explore what their options are for adaptation. We're not going to stop this climate issue. We're not going to be able to influence dam management very much, but we can adapt and improve some of our land management practices so that we can respond to these weather and land management events.
I don't know what we're dealing with. It's up to the Mother Nature what He has in store for us in the near future, and so we got to be prepared what Mother Nature give us